Okay, so I've got my design finalized for my phaser pedal. I have decided to put the delay pedal inside it as well. So I've got a phaser on a delay. So we're going to have the main speed for the phaser. We're going to have the delay and the repeats controls. Here's going to be a green LED and there's a green LED here. This is going to be the on and off stomp switch for the main phaser. And then there's going to be a switch to turn the delay on and a switch to turn the phase between script and non-script. And it is like the film Eraserhead. This is just printed out on paper so I can just drill my box. I've done another one here which just shows where the parts are. So what I need to do is cut this out and stick it on my box. My box is a 125B box, so it's basically the same size as a Boss pedal. Near enough. So this is a position I'm going to have things there, and then obviously I'm going to have LEDs and switches on there as well. It is quite a lot of controls on there, but from where I've designed I can still see the design quite well. You know, there's nothing obscured too much, so you still get the idea of what the pedal design is about. So I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to start drilling. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is cut that out, stick it on there. I'm going to get a hammer. I'm going to hammer in the nails so that when I drill, it's going to be bang on where it should be without any mucking about. So hopefully I can get these things right in position where I want them. Because there's nothing worse than having something slightly off, because it'll bug you for the rest of your life, honestly. So if you do something and you get the hole wrong and it's like a little bit cockeyed or like that, you're going to be like, I don't like this pedal anymore because it's just a bit wonky. And you can't do it again. Once you've drilled it, you've drilled it. So if you fuck it up, you can by all means go and buy another box. These boxes are $11. I wouldn't want to keep buying boxes after I've made a mistake. So I don't like to make a mistake, so this is why I do all of this stuff, marking it out correctly. I use Adobe Illustrator to mark all this stuff out. So here we go. Alright, so here's the box, like done. I'm just getting a nail and I'm just whacking the nail in right on the point. Just hammer that in, just so it gives you a little pilot hole for your drill, so that your drill bit doesn't slip about at all. But I think I've done a little bit. Obviously this is extremely dangerous because the drill could slip and it could go through my hand, but I like to live dangerously. Check my placements, how fucking off they are. Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, like I was saying, what you need for this is a stepper drill thing. The stepper drill bit, so it goes from, says on it, numbers on it. My numbers have worn off a little bit, so from 6mm, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 up to 20mm hole. You're not going to need a 20mm hole because the 3-pole double throw is the biggest hole you need. Everything's between like 6, the smallest one's 6 I think for the LEDs, switches, 3-pole double throw is the biggest one you'll need. I'm going to get these all fixed up into position because I can't be arsed drilling again, so I'm going to do it all in one go. Okay, so there's my finished drilled box. That's a little bit off, but because I'm making this just for myself, it doesn't bother me too much. If I was building this for someone who's paying for it, I'd probably start again, but I don't build these to sell anyway. So you know, just as you go and just make sure that each of your little bits is going where you want it to go, if it fits, you know, the holes fit right. And what I like about this one is that I've got top loading jacks and DC lug. So my DC is going to go in there, and the jacks are going to go in there. So that's going to look really cool, and especially when it's on my pedal board, it's not going to have these jacks in it, because they load from the top. I can have like them butt up against each other or as close as I want without there being too much bother, and then the connecting jacks will just go there. It's all going to be cool. So now all I need to do is wire this damn thing up. I'm going to sand it as well, because you need to sand this aluminium because it's all rough looking, and that's always good to do once you've done all the holes and everything. Give it a good sand, and then there we go, start wiring it up. I've just sanded this with some wet dry sandpaper, about 180 grit I think it is. So if you run it under the tap and you sand it whilst you're running cold water over it, you can get a nice finish on it. I quite like the brushed metal finish. Some people want it polished so it looks like a mirror. You have to use different types of grit sandpaper to get there. I'm quite happy with that because I'm going to put a sticker over the top of it, and obviously where's white on my sticker will just be the silver that shows through. It shows through quite nice. Like we've got this one, that's just the silver showing through where it's clear sticker. So that's going to look like that. I wanted to point out that if you're not confident using power tools of any kind, whether they're really powerful or not so powerful, my drill's not that powerful, but I know the capabilities of it. And if you're not confident about using power drill, or just doing it with your bare hands like I've just done, I've not got a drill press or anything to hold it still. I'm literally holding it still with my hand and drilling with the other hand. If you don't feel confident doing that, don't do it, because you will injure yourself. And if that drill slips, you can injure yourself quite badly. You could really do some damage to yourself depending on how powerful your drill is. My drill's not that powerful, so the worst I could do is badly cut myself, but I'm willing to risk that. I know the capabilities of, you know, what I'm doing. So if I did, then, you know, that would be that, wouldn't it? But, you know, I'm willing to take those risks. Just doing it by hand like this, and, you know, this is the what I've got. I mean, it's not bang on, you know, it's fairly bang on, but there is a little bit of an error where that goes in a little bit, but I can live with that, like I said, because I'm not selling this pedal. I'm just making it for myself. I just shined up the base plate as well. So there it is, it's all ready to take the components inside now. One thing I do before I start wiring stuff up is just make sure everything fits in the box. Now this is a larger box than what I usually use, but it's been a really tight fit. I've managed to get the switches on, the potentiometers is in, but inside it's very tightly packed. Now what I usually do as well is put electrical tape inside the bottom of the box so things don't short out. That's 2 circuits jam-packed in there. I don't know what it's going to be like when the wiring's actually in place. I've had to turn the double pole switch in order to get in the other 3-pole double throw, so it's an absolute tight pack. I've just tested that I can get the jacks in as well. Managed to do that even though they're, like, you know, just sitting on top of everything. But I'm going to try and get this all done and squeezed into there somehow or another. So I've got this wired up. I had it wired up in the box and it worked, and then it didn't work. All sorts of crazy stuff going on. As it stands there, I've got it working. So now I've just got to put it all back in the box again. And it's a very, very tight fit. Okay, so this is my finished phaser pedal with the script switch. Unfortunately, the delay did not end up fitting in the box. It was just too much for this box to handle. So I'm left with what would have been the 2 pot holes for the delay, the switch for the delay and the light for the delay. So I've basically ruined my box. I've made quite a big error here. I'm going to have to buy another 125B box and just put the phaser in it on its own. This box will probably get made into a test box rather than just chucking it in the bin. But there you go. Mistakes happen, and I didn't measure basically didn't measure the size of my PCBs and the size of the box and everything. Didn't measure it up properly, just carried away with it all, and yeah, ended up making a big mistake. But it works, the phaser works, and the delay works, but I'm going to use the delay for something else now. I'm going to put it inside my synth box with my bit crusher. So yeah, there we go.